Today we are going to see a very important part of chapter number 1, revisiting irrational numbers. In grade 9 you have learned about identification of irrational numbers, rational numbers. Here you need to prove that root 2 or root 3 or root 5 is an irrational number. Out of these three, generally they ask anyone, and generally it is asked in section C of board exam. So let's see how can we prove that root 2 is an irrational number or root 3 or root 5. So this is proved by a contradiction method in which we will assume that, let us assume that root 2 is a rational number. Now if root 2 is a rational number, it will be equal to the form of a by b, where a and b are co-primes and b is not equal to 0. देखो को प्राइम्स का मतलब क्या होता है, जिनका कॉमन फैक्टर खाली 1 होता है, लाइक 2 डिवाइडेड बाय 3 बोथ आर प्राइम्स. अब इसको अगर मैं फैक्टराइज करूँ, ये हो जाएगा 2 into 1 and 3 into 1, where the common factor will be 1. So all the rational numbers with the positive integers, when we bring them into the standard form, the common factor between them is 1. So here we have assumed that root 2 is a rational number which can be written in the form of a by b, जहाँ a and b क्या है, co-primes हैं, and b is not equal to 0. Now in the next step, what are we going to do? We are going to square on both the sides. On squaring both sides, root 2 whole square is equal to a square by b square. Root 2 का whole square क्या हो जाएगा? 2 is equal to a square by b square. Or 2b square is equal to a square. Give it equation number 1. And b square can be written as a square by 2. Now from theorem 1.2, when a square divides 2, a will also divide 2. Okay, this is the first part. So you have to write these steps in the same way. After understanding these steps, you produce it in the same way in the exam. Now let us suppose that let c be a positive integer, and this positive integer is equal to a by 2. Now we are going to square both sides of it. Again the same method. So ये क्या हो जाएगा, c square is equal to a square by 2 or to a square by 2 square, which is equal to 4c square is equal to a square. Now substitute value of a square from equation 1. So it will become 4c square is equal to 2b square. 2 से 4 cancel हो जाएगा. So it will become 2c square is equal to b square. Or c square will be equal to b square by 2. Mark it as equation number 2. Now here what you can mention that b square divides 2. So b divide 2. So here we completed the second part of the proof. Now what will be the concluding statement? अब यहाँ देखो कि a square is also divisible by 2 and b square is also divisible 2, right? A square is divisible by 2 and b square is also divisible by 2. But what we assumed, what we assume over here, that a and b, they are what? They are co-primes. So in the case of co-primes, the common factor should always be 1. So here you can write the concluding statement. This I am writing over here. Concluding statement that from equation 1 and equation 2, from equation 1 and equation 2, 2 is a common factor, 2 is a common factor of a and b, a and b, and this contradicts the fact, this contradicts the fact that a and b are co-primes. So our assumption was wrong, and hence root 2 is irrational. So whether it root 2 comes or root 3 comes or root 5 comes, you have to approve it in the same steps. See here, this is the example number 6, which is given on page number 8. Prove that 5 minus root 3 is irrational. And then another similar question is of exercise 1.2, which says that prove that 3 plus 2 root 5 is irrational. तो इसका भी मेथड सेम ही रहेगा. मैं फर्स्ट वाला क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करके दिखाती हूँ. लेट अस अज्यूम that 5 minus root 3 is rational. Again, you have assumed it as rational, so 5 minus root 3 किसके बराबर हो जाएगा? A by B in bracket. Similar statements you need to write where A and B are co-primes and B is not equal to 0. Now what we get after rearranging this equation, इस equation को जब अपन rearrange करेंगे, rearranging equation, we get 5 minus A by B is equal to root 3. Now since you know that A and B are positive integers, so my left hand side would be a rational number. So यहाँ मैं concluding statement लिख सकती हूँ कि since A and B are positive integers, therefore the left hand side shows a rational number. But root 3 is irrational, which contradicts our assumption. Hence, 5 minus root 3 is irrational. ठीक है, A and B क्या है? Positive integers है. That is why this entire left hand side would be a positive integer. Positive integer. और ये क्या होगा? ये एक rational number होगा. But root 3, as we know that it is irrational, which cannot be equal to left hand side, which is a rational number. So this contradicts our assumption, and hence 5 minus root 3 is irrational. अब एक्सरसाइज 1.2 का क्वेश्चन नंबर 3 देखते हैं. इसमें सीधा फर्स्ट पार्ट, इसको कैसे प्रूव करेंगे. मेथड सबका सेम ही रहेगा. सो इसमें भी हम यही लेंगे. अज्यूम दैट 1 by root 2 is rational. So 1 by root 2 is equal to A by B for integers A and B, which will be equal to, अब इसको rearrange जब हम करते हैं, so on rearranging what are we going to get? Root 2A is equal to B. So root 2 is equal to A by B. Since root 2 is equal to B by A, it will be B by A. So since B by A is rational, root 2 should also be rational. As per the above equation. But we know that root 2 is irrational, which contradicts our assumption. Hence 1 by root 2 is irrational. With respect to these questions, if anyone has not seen the video in which I explained theorem 1.2, you can click at the I button to watch that video. तो वो वीडियो जरूर देख लें इन ऑर्डर टू क्लियर द कंसेप्ट। सो क्या बोलते हो, एक और क्वेश्चन करा देती हूँ कंसेप्ट क्लियर करने के लिए, द लास्ट पार्ट ऑफ क्वेश्चन नंबर 3। सो इन द लास्ट पार्ट ऑफ क्वेश्चन नंबर 3 व्हाट वी नीड टू प्रूव दैट 3 प्लस 2 रूट 5 इज इरेशनल। तो देखो अभी जितने क्वेश्चंस किए वो हमने कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन से किए हैं, अजम्पशन करके किए हैं। सो इसमें भी हम अज्यूम कर लेंगे, लेट अस अज्यूम दैट 3 प्लस 2 रूट 5 इज रैशनल। सो अगर ये एक रैशनल नंबर है देन इट विल बी इक्वल टू a by b where a and b are positive integers। बहुत ही सिंपल है। सो ऑन रीअरेंजिंग द इक्वेशन को रीअरेंज कर लेते हैं। सो क्या मिल जाएगा, 2 रूट 5 इज इक्वल टू a by b माइनस 3 and root 5 will be equal to a by 2b minus 3. Now since a and b are integers, so right hand side will be a rational number which is equal to root 5 as per the above equation. But we know that root 5 is irrational. This contradicts our assumption and hence root 5 is irrational. आई होप ये क्वेश्चंस अच्छे से समझ में आ गए होंगे। अगर नहीं समझ में आए हैं सो यू जस्ट कमेंट ऑन दिस वीडियो, ओके, एंड टाइप yes if you understand the questions well. Thank you so much. We'll meet in the next video.